everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. So I'm going to show you guys the report from the one that like Mowry wrote up. There's not, from what I can tell, and I control F keywords to try to find if there was anything else. I'm not seeing anything else of a supplemental done for like the little follow-up interview. So I'm going to assume that he just like put everything together, because he wrote this on 11/28/22. So he waited almost 2 weeks. Which, why are you waiting almost 2 weeks to write this report? He waited almost 2 weeks to write this report. But see how this date is 11/15/22, and it says that like the following interviews were conducted. She's in the same pants as the body cam, but there's no timestamps. Obviously, this that I am showing you is what I took from Docket's channel and put it where I can use it. But the version that Plunder got from him too, because Plunder got it from Docket Decoder, and she posted it right whenever they posted it, and there's no timestamps in hers either, even though it's like a further angle and you can see like more of the walls. There's no timestamp like we have for Bethany's. I don't know why we don't see like the Motorola thing or whatever the security camera is. There's nothing. I don't understand why we don't have a timestamp on the footage. I just don't understand it. So this report is very specific. I'm not going to reread the entire thing. No, I'm not going to reread the entire thing because I'm putting together the body cam, the interviews, all of the reports, everything that we're getting in chronological order as we're getting it to do a compare and contrast and see where things changed. Because she says some real crazy off the wall stuff about having to scale a tall wall to use a certain door, and like her stuff flip-flops a whole lot. And we're also still trying to get the correct timeline for things. And that's the inconsistencies aren't helping that situation. Now, some of the times that she's giving for getting back to the house, now that we're getting those timestamps, pretty much that kind of stuff has stayed pretty consistent. It's around the Murphy goes missing mark that things start getting really misconstrued, and we don't have any times for when Murphy was found again. We're being told by Bethany in her stuff that Maddie and her are the ones who took Murphy out. And then all of a sudden, Maddie apparently had lost Murphy at some point because Bethany went back inside, left Maddie outside with Murphy. For some reason, Kaylee didn't take the dog. I'm assuming it's the stalker stuff. I don't know what else to think about that. She's all of a sudden going to stay at her parents' house right before she's about to be moving. Like, instead of spending time hanging out with her friends, she's back at home. Stalker situation was obviously a real situation. There's a bunch of reports from her friends and people that knew them that knew about these situations. I find it interesting the way that Dylan is saying them in this piece. It's like a very well-rehearsed list. And even if this was the same day, she sits there and mentions how like everyone was talking or they were talking. She talked to somebody. This isn't information that she's just like, she knows all of this information off the top of her head, even though she could. But she's making it very well known that like she's having discussions with other people. And after having those discussions, this is the information that she now has about Winco and about the shadow whenever Kaylee took the dog out and about these other things. Things that we've also seen in the reports from other people, not just her. So obviously there was something going on. Somebody was coming in and out that house. Someone was leaving the doors open. Somebody was watching Kaylee from afar, maybe watching all of them from afar. We don't really know because the cops have lied to us about that situation from the beginning. Which I don't understand why. If you knew that all these people were telling you, yeah, we heard this stalking story. Yeah, we heard this situation. Like, there's over a dozen reports of this stuff. Because I'm going to be getting all that together too. Over a dozen of these reports of different people claiming that they heard these stories. All within like the first week of the incident. No, there's no stalker. Did you actually find the stalker and for some reason you're not going to like pin it on that person? Is it a cop that was a stalker? Is that the problem here? Is that why we're being so hush hush about the stalker situation? You know, you just got to really wonder. I mean, I know the Winco thing was like a guy that was like scoping out women to ask out or whatever. But when it comes to the situation at the house, someone watching from the tree line, someone jumping out or being somewhere behind the dumpsters and her not feeling comfortable enough to stay there anymore. Again, right before she was supposed to be leaving, right whenever she should be like having as much fun with her friends as she possibly can before she takes off. She goes back home? No. I don't understand why they lied about that. And them lying about that stalking is different than them saying, well, we can't prove that Bryan Kohberger was doing anything, because they can't prove that he was doing anything. And they said that themselves. They can't prove it. But to come out and automatically lie about an actual situation, how can anyone take you seriously about anything? Oh, wait, we can't. Oh, wait, we can't. You've proven that over and over again. Prosecution team's a damn joke. Okay. There's specifics in this. She's talking about where they were drinking, the party, the times everybody was going back and forth, talking about nothing weird really happening the night before, and talking about the layout of the house, which she doesn't even mention anything about the house in this interview. Again, where's the follow-up report for this one? Is it just like all together? Is it just lumped all together? I mean, this one ends, and then the rest of this document is other people's interviews. Other people's interviews. So what the hell? So what the hell? So let's listen to it one more time. And then I'm going to stop on like a couple of things. She doesn't say much, but a couple of things. But I want the actual interview, not this follow-up interview. What's this follow-up interview going to do? This isn't giving us any information, literally whatsoever. It's just ridiculous that this is what they're doing. They know this is not what we want. They know that this is not what we want. So we'll review this again real quick in its crappiness. I'll show you guys the full FOIA request that I put in. And again, I made it known. I'm aware that this is a follow-up interview that y'all released. That's great and all. But, and then we'll go and watch the surveillance at the Costco. Let me know that you guys can hear this okay. And it's bad. Like his microphone is so crappy in the very beginning of this. It's like this in Docket Decoder's version and the one that Plunder uploaded, which is also from Docket Decoder. So I didn't know at first whether it was just like his upload or their upload. I don't know if that's a chick or a dude. Obviously, it doesn't even matter. I don't know if it was from their upload or from something, but it's there for all of them that I've seen. See, those are the same green pants from the body cam.
I think that somebody might have said something that you said. I think what maybe you was.
See, look, I'm not like a body expert or whatever, but I've like heard enough things to know that like putting your hands underneath your legs like that is usually a sign of nervousness. That's a pretty common thing. I'm only going to call it things that I know for like are facts. That's a big one.
Did you have, or in the recent history, have anybody that you thought might have been stalking you, or that was just acting weird?
And see, he went straight to the stalking question in this, and that was my first red flag. I was like, why is he going straight to the stalking question? That's crazy. So he must have had a conversation with somebody else who must have been interviewing somebody else. But I don't remember Bethany really mentioning too much. But she really didn't say a lot. She's like a bunch of mm-hms the whole time.
No, but I mean, talking, remember about a month ago, I think.
So I'm guessing she said me and Bethany were talking. And notice her hands came out from underneath her thighs as soon as she basically realized, oh, you're not asking about me, you're asking about something else. I just find it interesting. I'm not an expert, again. I just find it interesting.
One of the police officers that Kaylee was outside taking Murphy out and she saw a shadow.
Yep, okay.
And then when Kaylee was at Winco, Xana was in the car, she noticed this guy was following her.
Isn't the cross-legged thing sort of like a confidence thing? I could have that one wrong. But her demeanor sort of changed when she realized the trajectory of the conversation, and now she's more like open. You know what I mean?
she like got what she was getting, put it in the car, and she could see in her mirror that the guy was behind her in the car.
Okay.
So obviously he was trying to follow her. And then that was about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then about a week ago, our door is broken, but me, Maddie, and Bethany came home and the door is wide open.
See, so she's saying that the door situation that we read about that in the reports. There's several reports about this door, both the front and the back door having problems like this. We saw and read about this stuff in the reports. But she's saying this happened a week before the incident. So this would have happened Parents' Weekend, which actually sort of tracks because they said that the front door, like it was so windy that whatever had happened to the front door had made the hinges come loose, and Jeff is the one who fixed it. So it being just a week before that, that tracks to what was actually going on. Because the weekend of the incident, he was at WSU for Parents' Weekend. But Parents' Weekend was the weekend before. That's where he actually got to meet the Chapins for the first time.
Like, obviously, yes, the door is broken, but that could also be something else as well.
With the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever find the back slider open or anything? Is that usually locked? What's the condition?
I mean, we're pretty good at locking it.
Okay.
I don't think we locked it last night.
We're pretty good at locking it. I don't think we locked it last night. It doesn't work. Like, she's not even being honest right here. We've learned over time that the back slider didn't even have a functioning lock. That even if they did this like lock thing, there's a way to just like push it up a certain way with your finger from the outside and it opens. We've heard that from several people their age that were their friends. And like, I think Steve Goncalves has made a comment about it. And so has Jeff. Pretty positive. So why lie? You're telling about the front door problem. So why not just be like, the lock on the back door doesn't work correctly? Why sit there and be like, oh yeah, we lock it all the time, but oh wait, we might not have locked it. Why not just be honest?
And it sounds like the code is fairly well known to the front door by people.
I mean, only people that like know us, like random people would not know. But
Okay.
like,
Right.
Yeah.
Because he knew it.
does.
That'd be
Obviously,
Hunter.
noticed that somebody she was going to move in with you guys,
Yeah.
possibly.
Okay, that's the one thing that I didn't know about. I can't remember us ever hearing anything about somebody else about to be moving into that house. I think maybe there was something said in passing a while back about whoever was going to be taking over Kaylee's spot, but I don't remember if we ever had a name. Was it Josie or was it what's her name, Emily? Because he says that gets said like right after mentioning what I believe to be his Hunter whenever asking about the code. I don't remember the specifics of that. I feel like we heard it in passing before, but I don't remember the specifics.
Doesn't sound like you knew it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Did Kaylee ever say anything or report that weirdness to anybody else other than you guys?
No, because I mean, like, there's like no proof, you know. I
Right.
can't really do anything about it, and people are just weird sometimes. We didn't like all.
See, she's also not being honest here. He just asked if they told anyone else about the whole stalking stuff, and she's like, no, because we didn't have any proof. Okay, well, we have over a dozen reports claiming that, yeah, Kaylee was telling all kind of people. So I guess maybe he means like police or something like that. But all kinds of people knew the story. So she can't say, no, we didn't tell anybody. And people are just weird. People are just weird?
Once we
Okay.
were scared for a little bit, we didn't think much about it after that, because there's nothing really weird after that.
Did she see what kind of car it was he was driving?
That's not what I said. The Chapins were at U of I's Parents' Weekend the weekend before this happened, which is around the time Dylan is claiming that the front door was open whenever they got home one time. He was in the area again the weekend of the homicide at WSU because Jasmine goes to WSU, Xana's sister. So he was in the area for 2 weekends in a row. University of Idaho for their Parents' Weekend, and then WSU for WSU's Parents' Weekend with Jasmine.
Something like that?
Mm-mm.
Where did Kaylee work?
She worked at home for a business, I believe. I can't remember what exactly it is.
Mm-hmm.
So she was just she works from her apartment? From her room? Okay. What about, Maddie and, Xana, where did they work?
Maddie and Xana both worked at Mad Creek, and then Maddie also had a paid internship through this business as well. That was online at home.
Now, I know some people are saying this is the first time that they've heard that. We heard this, I believe, from the Amazon series, more information on this, because it was more geared towards Maddie. She had some sort of marketing company internship. I don't remember the name of the company or if they even said the name of the company, but I know that she also worked like retail. And there was a lady that she worked retail for that they did an interview with too. And I believe Karen, Maddie's mom, is the one who said a lot of stuff about her college trajectory and where she was going. But they mentioned this also like internship online thing for this marketing company too. So both of the girls, because they were further along in their degrees, were already like in their fields. And like she's about to say, this is how this works. Most of the time your college will help you get your foot in the door somewhere with these internships, places that they have contracts with. So both of them having some sort of internship is completely normal for the step they were in.
Who would know what that business is?
I mean, Maddie's
Would I be
mother
able to
probably.
figure that out?
You might know.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. There's like, because they were business majors and through their majors, they were able to get these jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just, told me about Kaylee talking about something like that.
Yeah.
And then I heard that it was possibly you. So I just wanted to make sure that I got the right person having those kind of things.
Yeah, see, that proves he was talking to somebody. There was a conversation had about something else that was going on and they needed to get some more clarification. And that's why he brought Dylan in, because he misunderstood, I guess, who was working in another job is what it sounds like that context came from.
Did you hear Murphy barking or doing anything?
Yes, he was barking a lot.
Throughout the night or?
And I heard Kaylee go upstairs, he's barking a lot, and then I could tell that he was outside. I don't know how the police found him because he wasn't in the house.
Okay.
That part is really interesting too, that she says that. I mean, y'all know what my story is, but I'm trying to give the situation some sort of something. So I'm just going along with whatever she's claiming. When it comes to what we heard in the body cam, not the body cam, the 11/12 footage that was released so far, I said to you guys, it does sound like he sort of starts off inside the house barking. You hear a noise, which to me is like the opening of a door or like whatever noises would be being made with Murphy being like forced outside. Because then he starts sounding like he's coming, like he's barking from outside. And you can tell that he's getting further and closer and further and closer to the 11/12 camera, because like it gets like hella loud at some point. It's literally almost like he's standing next to that front porch, because it gets so like bellowy. But then it gets really echoey at a lot of points because you can tell he's just running all over the place. He's barking his head off, okay? She said this in, I don't know if was it in the report where he actually just said that, I think? Because this is the portion that we read before, where she did say that it sounded like he was like getting farther and farther away from the house. I feel like that was in a more recent report. So I think that was the ISP reports. So she's claiming to have heard him barking on the inside, constantly kept hearing him barking on the outside, and then is claiming that for the whole 8 hours, she doesn't know how the police would have found him when they got there because he had been outside the whole time. She's still trying to play as if she was asleep. That's what she's doing. She's trying to act as if she was asleep the entire time. So if Murphy was outside the last time she heard him, then he had to have just been outside the entire time because she went to sleep. So she doesn't know how he would have gotten back in. Now, I know that the back slider was left open. Okay. At least that's what it looks like whenever the cops get there. But I'm also not going to sit here and say that's how whoever did this left the door when we have 8 hours and this chick being awake the entire time. The phone activity doesn't stop. So she's again sitting here technically lying and pretending Like she doesn't know anything. And that's impossible because she was awake the entire freaking night. The forensic download information shows that. And there's no way that for the rest of the 8 hours that Murphy just doesn't bark. That's why I want footage from noon on the 12th to noon on the 13th. I want all of it. Because how are you going to try to make me believe that you didn't let that dog in or you didn't have something else to do with that entire situation? You didn't sleep for 8 whole hours. And for sure on the camera, we hear a good like 30 minutes. Because he starts barking at like, was it like 4:02? Like there's definitely noises and stuff going on before the time frame that they're trying to tell us that stuff was happening. Very prominent noises, including the dog barking. I cannot wait to see the rest of that. If they have a full 12 hours, which I doubt that they have a full 12 hours to give out, I want the full 12 hours. I mean 24 hours. I want the full 24 hours. Like for real, all of it.
But he has a puppy, he barks, but he was barking a lot if there was someone there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was at 1:32, or was that around
Like
4?
4. And I think it happened.
And when he was barking, when you first heard him on barking after she was up there playing, did you hear him go outside, or did you start outside?
Murphy was with Kaylee when they were like dancing. They walked upstairs. He was still with her. And then when she would yell, someone's here, he started barking in the house. And then I believe the slider door was open, and I think he went out that way because I could tell like the sound of his barking was getting like more distant.
Okay. This is the part that I have issues with, because regardless of what's going on, the state is trying to say that whoever it was, Kohberger or not, would have come in through the sliding glass door right before the attack like initiated. But what we're hearing over and over and over again is that Kaylee and Murphy were on that second floor in the living room space. Xana was apparently, according to them, again with no proof, like I mentioned earlier in my reaction video to this, until they give us the camera that Payne's talking about that they're pretending like it doesn't exist, there's no actual proof about crap when it comes to Xana. Anything can be done on a phone. And then whenever we hear in the reports or read in the reports that the gray iPhone was found next to Xana's body and the pink iPhone was found next to Ethan's body, okay, she could easily have had his phone and been the one that actually made the DoorDash order. But how are you going to sit here and tell me that I'm supposed to believe some timestamp that y'all changed for, back and forth over and over between 4:12 and 3:16, but Ethan's phone is the one next to her body? And she was attacked within seconds of this last TikTok click thingy-mabobber? How does that work? How does that work? There's no way the person could have come in through the slider right before the attack started with all of that activity happening in the middle of the house and no one saw a damn thing. Somehow this person came in through the slider, avoided the girl getting food and apparently eating Jack in the Box in the kitchen, because that's what they're trying to tell us. That's the story that they're trying to tell us from the photos. That's what they're trying to tell us. And got up the stairs and didn't get seen by the dog or nothing. That's what they're trying to tell us happened here. How does that work? The person would have either had to have actually done the crazy shit that Dylan ends up saying in another report about, I don't know why they would have used that door. They would have had to have scaled a tall wall, meaning the balcony of Kaylee's room. That would have had to have actually happened. Or the person would have had to have been hanging out in the house and somehow have not been sensed by Murphy the entire time. But I have a lot of issues with Murphy's timeline in general because, again, like I said a few minutes ago here, they take him out, minus Kaylee. All of a sudden, all these phone calls are going back and forth between Jack and Kaylee. There's an actual phone call between Jack and Kaylee that they lied to us about, including her whole family, lied to the public about the entire time, on top of the missed calls. Bethany is trying to say that it was around like 2:30-ish that Maddie would have contacted her about not being able to find Murphy all of a sudden, but the timestamps for the phone calls is closer to 3 o'clock. It's like 3:50 something. I don't remember the exact time frame, but it's like 3:50 something, which is closer to 3. So none of that is adding up, especially since we still don't know when Murphy showed back up. When did Maddie go back inside the house? Would Maddie have just left the door open? Highly unlikely. So for Dylan's story to work, Maddie would have had to have left the backsliding door open at some point for Murphy to have like ran out, unless there, because it's not working. It's not working. Kaylee was literally functioning and Xana was functioning on the second floor. I'm trying to like put it together in my head to make it work, and no way does it work. The door couldn't have, the door could have been left open, but it wouldn't really matter regardless, because they're not being honest about how the person would have came in the house. You cannot have all of that activity to expect me to believe this person was able to ninja across a dog and 2 girls going on about their lives with a bunch of music and stuff playing and actually like doing stuff in the house. There's no way. Nothing that she is saying and nothing that they're coming out with their narrative is making logical sense. And they really are sticking to this whole, he came in through the slider. How? And got up to the 3rd floor. That doesn't work. The dog would have had to have been barking his head off before anybody was attacked, because a stranger would have been inside the house. Like I've literally sat here for like, I don't even know how many times and tried to play out this non-theory theory of the states, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Do you think that Murphy would have went after him, wherever he was?
Maybe, but I mean, he's a puppy.
That part too, okay? This part too. They're basically trying to make us believe that even though we're hearing from the people or the person who's claiming to whatever, and now they're sort of like falling into her theory too, like they're going along with some of the things that she's claiming, while also telling us that even though they're believing her story about Kaylee being on the 2nd floor, going up the stairs to go to bed, freaking out, running back down, all the stuff with Murphy, but somehow she miraculously ended up in Maddie's room, in Maddie's bed, near the wall, again, with her facial area so destroyed that it was unrecognizable to even be human. But there's a blood spot the size, like smaller than my makeup wipes, sitting on the pillow. The phones being in the wrong places, her phone being underneath her head. How did she end up in that bed if she was running back down the stairs? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
He doesn't fully know that yet.
Yeah.
No, he would just be.
It sounds like their bodies were put somewhere to tell the story, because it doesn't work. So you think about that. You think about, oh, how'd she end up where she was if the last thing that we heard, she was running back down to the 2nd floor? And then we have the gray iPhone next to Xana and the pink iPhone next to Ethan, like it was a bad stage job. There's a lot of bullshit here, man.
If anything, probably tie in with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
When the guy in black left, did he close the slider or did he leave it open?
I don't know. I just ran downstairs.
Right. Okay.
But she didn't just run downstairs. Now she might not have actually, if she actually did see somebody walk out the back slider door, okay, she might not have actually looked enough to see if they closed it. I'm trying to picture the way that it looks. I don't see how she would have come out of her room and not looked towards the kitchen, but still looked towards Xana's room before she went down the stairs. Just for like that portion of it. I don't see how you can sit here and say that you were functioning enough and your eyes were functioning enough to see down that hallway and see Xana laying there, but you didn't look towards the slider. I just feel like everything that she's saying is completely fabricated. I'm not believing anything. I'm just not. And I know I have a bias against the situation, but it's not because of what I believe. It's because of the documents. The documents prove that everything coming out of her mouth when it comes to that 8-hour timeline is a lie. So if she's instantly going to lie to the police and say, oh, I was asleep the whole time, whenever the proof is literally physically there, that that's not true for her or Bethany, then how am I supposed to sit here and believe anything else that she says when she's instantly lying to the police? Even if I didn't already have like issues with the evidence itself, knowing simply that we have her forensic information that proves everything that she says is bullshit when it comes to her own timeline, how am I supposed to believe this? Like, she lied straight off the bat. I can't believe anything that she says. And it's not like I'm not trying. Y'all see me sitting here like going through every little piece of information that she's giving, trying to put it together to try to make it make sense logically, straight from her own story. And I can't. I can't, because I know the truth. I know the truth about what the evidence actually says about what she was doing. There's a reason why the defense wanted specific messages between her and her father presented at trial. You think that they were going to be about going out and buying a homecoming dress? Do you think it was going to be about the next date that her and Quinn were going to go on? They're not going to just submit text messages between her and her dad unless they have something to do with the case. I want to know. I want to know all of it. I want to know why they're lying. And the crazy part is, like, whatever could have been actually going on, we can't even trust the Goncalveses about what they found in Kaylee's conversations when it comes to like what might have actually been going on in that house or any other situation that might have been going on, because they've been lying to us for 3 years about the phone call with Jack. There's no way that Olivia did not see that night, because you guys need to remember how this worked. Olivia left from where did they live? California, and drove from California to Idaho. And overnight, as her husband drove, she sat there logged into Kaylee's phone account, saw the text messages, saw the phone calls, was texting people, calling people. That's how she found out about Eric Gower. That's how she found out about the grub truck, all of it. She knew then that there was a 17-minute phone call and all of those freaking missed calls between Kaylee and Jack, because she could see Kaylee's call logs and how many times she called him. She could see that 17-minute phone call. They collectively as a family chose to not be honest. So we can't trust them to be honest about anything, including anything else they might have actually seen, because they're not going to come out and say it. Yeah, everybody in this damn place acting completely shady. Why? Why do they all have something wrong? All of them, every player.
Okay, anything else?
Not that I
Popped
can
up?
think of. No.
All right, I'm gonna go talk to my guys who've done the other interviews
Okay.
and see if anybody's got questions, so that we can kind of start putting more pieces together.
That just sounds so stupid. Like, I get the sentiment, dude, but like, so we can start putting more pieces together. That just sounds so fake. It just sounds fake to me. It just really for real sounds fake to me. Okay. Let me show you guys the FOIA that I submitted tonight so that y'all can see the actual verbiage of it. Because I tell him, I'm aware this is a follow-up interview. I need you to do better. Let's see. Oh my God, it's going to be tiny. Is it going to stay tiny? I don't know if I can get this bigger. The way that it opens it up in a new tab, like I cannot zoom it. Okay, that's as best as it's going to get. Okay. So this is what I put. I'm requesting video of the interview in which supplemental narrative 42 was written. Lawrence Mowry interviewed Dylan Mortensen on 11/13/22 after 12 p.m. regarding the 1122 King Road quadruple homicide. We understand a small 5-minute and 20-something second video was released, but this seems to be a follow-up interview taken the same day. We can assume, since the timestamp is missing and doesn't contain the information in report number 42. Again, this interview took place on 11/13/22 and the report was written on 11/28/22. Along with this specific video, I am requesting any and all interviews or meetings that took place with Dylan Mortensen for this investigation, be it in person, on the phone, or via a video conference call, because there was a few of those too. So we'll see what they do with anything. Thank you so much for hanging out in here with me. Let me go ahead and throw this up here real quick. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.